This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville Podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And now, your host of the Ballsville Game Podcast, Scott Fitzgerald.
Welcome in, Ballsville gamers, to another episode of the Ballsville Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Fitzgerald. You can find me at Run the Hurry Up on Sleeper. And this episode is brought to you by the Ballsvillegame.com, where our games combine fantasy football and poker, which create big payouts with great odds. First and foremost, I want to welcome everyone into a big show today. We have the NFL schedule release that we are currently watching right now. So we're kind of doing everything on the fly right now, taking last minute notes, but our crew is doing a good job to have some accurate information for you guys that we think will be very helpful for you guys. So I'm going to go to my panel. First and foremost, Sean, my co-host, Bill's Mafia, usually co-hosts with me, had an unexpected passing this morning. His grandmother passed away, and obviously he needs the night off. So if you guys, want to reach out to Sean, give him a thumbs up, say a prayer, that would be really good and much appreciated for him. So I'm going to go to my fill-in host and co-host. She is our producer. She crushes Justin Herbert. She is Sarah M21. What is up, Sarah?
What's up, guys? Don't forget about Justin. He's here with us too.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about the man bun over there. And welcome back. He's our good old boy from West Texas. He is our Ballsville 2024 Player of the Year and our rookie analyst. We can't wait to see some of his rookie stuff. He goes by C-Bomb 18 on Sleeper. What is up, Connor?
What's going on? Yeah, thanks for having me.
And real quick, I want to welcome in, we got Cyborg in the chat, popping in like always. Sorry for cussing. Welcome on in. We got Tennessee Nick, super active in our Ballsville community. We got Jimbo's Bimbos, my big brother, sniping the pod like always. There goes Zoobs. Zoobs is in, man of the Wild Frontier up north. And we got Degenerate Ethan, who changed his name from HTX Ethan to Degenerate Ethan, who's very active in our community. And in the background, we may have a special guest appearance later by our El Presidente, Alex. I also want to give a shout out to Soul Sleeper. Is it Soul Sleeper she goes by? Alex's wife?
Soul Stealer?
Soul Stealer. That's what it is. Well, she'll be soul sleeping tomorrow when she goes under the knife. She has a hernia surgery. We want to wish her the best and throw out some prayers.
Good luck.
So, good. We wish you the best on that one, Soul Sleeper. So,
Stealer.
So, anyways, we're gonna start the show off. We got a big lineup. We're gonna talk about a little bit about Connor's rookie talks. I'm very interested, like a lot of us, to see where some of our rookies that he has ranked. I have some questions for him. Most of my rookies drafts are over, and I want to get his take on some guys that I took and see if I got him at a good price. I have a trade that I want to run through him, see if it was something he would do. We're going to check out some big game draft boards post George Pickens. We're also going to have a little bit of trade talks. We have our triathlon video that will show you guys, to anyone that's new on here. Our triathlon leagues are kicking off actually tomorrow. And then we're going to talk about the schedule release. So, yeah, everyone likes my shirt. So, we'll be talking about the schedule release. Got some interesting stuff to talk about. And I was under the gun 10 minutes before the show started, and I wrote down all the bye weeks for you guys. So I got all that locked in for you guys. Write them down because it's very important for our triathlon leagues. And you guys are going to be shocked to see what happens with these bye weeks. You guys are going to be freaking out. So,
freaking out.
I'm going to go to Connor. Connor, can you give us a little sneak peek, a little bit of information on your rookies? We haven't talked to you in a while. What did you think about the NFL draft? What did you think about this class? a guy that probably you think might have went early, a guy that kind of slipped, and I want your take on Shadir too.
Yeah, for sure. So me and JoJo, Joey, we're working on something. We're going to create like a little mini series, probably like 10 to 12 episodes over the next month or so, month and a half or so. We'll be doing 2 a week, I think. First 2 episodes should release, or at least the first episode should release tomorrow, and we'll do them every Tuesday, Thursday. They'll just drop about the same time, probably about 7 p.m. Central Time, or we haven't really discussed the time exactly, but probably right around there, probably about your dinner time every Tuesday, Thursday. They'll be about 20 minutes, 15 minutes a piece. You'll be able to watch, 1, 2 of them whenever, you don't have to watch them in order or anything. The first one will be 1 through 12, our rookie rankings, 1 through 12. And then our second one will be 13 through 24. So it'll be 2 rounds basically of your mock drafts or your rookie drafts. And then we'll go into, after that, we'll go into specific player profiles. We'll talk a little bit about QBs and running backs and wide receivers and all that good stuff. And then we'll have some other information. We'll do maybe a mock draft or 2, just, quick, 10-minute mock draft, just to have a little bit more content. And then we'll see where it goes from there. See if people still want it. Maybe we'll merge into some redraft rookie stuff, maybe some more dynasty rookie stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we have planned for coming up. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully we get the first episode out tomorrow. If not, it'll be Tuesday next week for sure. And then every other Tuesday, Thursday will be an episode. So
awesome. We'll definitely look forward to checking that stuff out for the rookie drafts. And before I get to a few questions for Connor, we're at like 191 subscribers on YouTube. I want to get north of 200. So if you guys haven't yet, please smash that subscribe button for us. Get us over 200. We want to make a real push this year with the viewership. So I know a lot of people probably come in and haven't subscribed yet, but that'll really help out the channel. And also leave comments in there, stuff you like and don't like about the pod that can help us improve for your viewership. So Connor, what's one rookie that you thought that you've noticed in your rookie drafts or rookie drafts that you've seen that one rookie that's going like really high and one that's like, we all know Sanders is dropping really far, so we're gonna take him out of the equation. So one rookie that's going like really high that you're like, wow, he's pretty high, and one that's like, wow, this guy should have been drafted already.
So I'd say the guy that's going really high that I'm kind of surprised about, especially pre-rankings rookies, is RJ Harvey. He got drafted to Denver pretty early on. Great spot, great landing location. He didn't have like the best player profile pre-draft or anything like that. Denver obviously loved him, and he has a great landing spot. So I've seen him go as early as like the 1.6, maybe even the 1.5, which is really high. I like taking him early, round 2. I think 201, 202, if you can get him there, is like one of a great spot to get him at. Going too low, I think either of the tight ends should be going. I think both of them should be going top 12, but I've seen some of them slip to 2.5, 2.4. I'm talking about Loveland and Warren, obviously. Some of those guys I think are top 12 talents. Both got first round draft capital. Your tight end position has already been rough. You really have been, picking scraping the bottom of the barrel for tight ends for the last 2, maybe even 3 years. And I think these guys just have the talent to produce year 1 and forward. So I think they should be going top 12 every mock draft you have, every rookie draft you have. Especially Warren. I think he was one of my favorite players pre-draft. I still have him. I have him ranked higher than JoJo, as we'll see. JoJo doesn't have him as high as me. He has Loveland a little bit higher than me, but I think we both have him right around top 12. So those are the 2 guys I would say.
Okay, before I there's a couple other questions I want to ask you, but I want to get in here. Sir, do you have a question on a player or for Connor or something else about the rookie draft?
Yeah. So even though I do feel like you were saying about Harvey, I definitely see him going after Hampton, Judkins, and Henderson. He seems to be the next one going, and it's usually in the first. Do you think that he could be able to do like what? Not that he's the same type of player as A-Chain, but like do what he did, where everyone was like, no, A-Chain's too small. He's not going to do this or that. But I was still taking him at like 111, 110, 112 because I thought he was going to. Like in Harvey's situation, do you think he can do that? Like prove that he's going to be worth a first round pick, or do you think that he's just not good enough and that Estime is going to get more of those looks?
No, I think he's going to be a player that's going to get work for sure. I think like I said, A-Chain at least had. I went to A&M. I went to A&M with A-Chain. I had classes with A-Chain. He had a great profile besides his size outside of college. He ran basically a really fast 40, sub 4.3, I think. He was a track star. All that, his injuries is what's really kept him down. But not to get off topic of Harvey, I just don't think should be going to the 1-6. I think he should be going late round one. I think he should be going, 110, 111, 112. I think he should be going about the 201, 201, 202. So, but I just don't see him as a top 6 talent in this draft. I think the top 6 in this is pretty solid to me. So.
That makes sense. And one more question. What do you think of Higgins? And do you think that he might be in a better position than Golden, even though Golden might be the better wide receiver?
So you're talking about Jaden Higgins, correct?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So I really like that landing spot, especially because Dell is going to be, out. Basically, he's out. Probably going to be out for the season this year. And then you have Kirk. I think is going to slide right into that slot. So they really need 2 outside guys. I think Higgins is really going to slide into that well. Golden, just to touch on the other player you mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of Golden. I've taken him once out of 15 rookie drafts. He was never a player I was drafting pre-draft or after draft. I think we're going to touch on it. Me and JoJo are going to touch on it a little bit, but that wide receiver core is just a bunch of wide receiver 2s, and I'm not sure he's the difference maker there anymore. But he did get round 1. He got round 1 draft capital, correct? Yeah. So he might, you got to take, some variety of your draft. So I took him once or twice, but
yeah, that's where I'm at. I took Higgins before Golden a couple of different times in some of my drafts, but I wanted to take Golden just to have a couple shares, but mostly because of landing place for me though.
No, that's a good question. And I want to welcome in Cheeky Hobson into the chat. Welcome in Cheeky. So to piggyback off Sarah, Connor, I'm noticing that I get stuck in that early second round if I'm looking at a receiver between Higgins, Burton, and I'm drawing a blank on the kid that went to the Sarah's team, the Chargers.
Trey Harris.
So I get stuck like right there. Which can you rank those 3 receivers?
So I think Burden is by far the most talented, and he's one of my favorite players to draft right there. But if you're looking for immediate impact, he's probably not going to have that. He has two certified stars right in front of him, Odunze and DJ Moore. So I don't think if you're looking for production right away, Burden's the go. I think Trey Harris, if you were looking for immediate production, is probably your best go. Higgins, I like Trey Harris a little bit more than I like Higgins. Just player profile wise, landing spot, they're about the same. They both had, basically that wide receiver 2 spot open. But I think Burden is, if you're getting him in early round 2, that's who you should be going with, just dynasty value wise. But if you need immediate production, then I would probably look at one of those other guys.
Got you. And then one other question I wanted to run by you. So I was in a draft, and one of my teammates, or one of the players in the league did punted year 1. So he acquired a ton of draft picks. So he goes into this year and he drafts all these players, and then the draft's over and he's got to drop players. So he's like, because he doesn't have enough roster spots. So now he's stuck. So now he wants to start moving some of these players for future first round draft picks. So I'm like starving at running back. And I think I got a team that can make the playoffs. I think I'm starving at quarterback or running back, and I need a running back to at least fill my RB2. possibly RB1.
Mhm.
So I went to this individual and I said, he didn't want to give the top backs away, obviously Junkins and Henderson, but he had Caleb Williams. So
Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson. So I offered my 26 first and took Caleb Johnson, and he slides right into my starting lineup. Do you like that? Do you not like that? I mean, what's your value on Caleb Johnson?
Yeah, I love that deal. I love, if Harvey falls into the second doing the same thing. Any of these, Johnson, Harvey, even Burden, another lay down pick. I mean, Golden maybe, and then any of the tight ends, I'm sending in a 26 first for them right away if they're offering that up.
Okay, I did that in another league with Burton. I ended up sending away a 26 first for Burton.
Yep. I'm not in love with this 26 class, and me and JoJo have talked a little bit about it. There's always going to be people that rise up in the college ranks. I mean, we didn't think, we didn't think Genty was probably going to be, the first one overall every single draft. I mean, he had a good player profile before, but he was never like tier one, obviously, Bijan, type player. Jaden Daniels, same way. He had a Heisman season. He really wasn't nothing at Arizona State. And then, every single year there'll be risers, but right now there's no, dog that you really want. Especially if Arch Manning doesn't even, come out of the draft this year. He might recommit to 27. So.
And one more quick quarterback question. So for the people out there that probably aren't really digging deep into like film and just listening to the talking heads on the TV about Shedeur Sanders, if you're in your rookie draft, how far is too far to let him fall before you're like, dude, this is too far. I gotta take this guy.
He's a fifth round quarterback, right? One of those. I can't remember exactly. One of those two.
Fifth round. I think
he's fifth, right? So I'm not taking him anywhere in the top 2.5 rounds, anywhere, middle of round 3. After that, you look at the board, you can see where he has a possible path to start. The Browns, quarterback room is, you got Flacco, you got Kenny Pickett, you got him, you got Dylan Gabriel. He possibly could start, but I don't see it happening. I think, late round 3, I'm taking him around 4, not letting him go undrafted or anything like that. But I'm kind of with Ethan. If he goes anywhere in round, mid round 3 or before, I'm not taking him at all.
Yeah, because I'm seeing him go I was willing to take him in round 3 if he got there. Mm-hmm. I didn't get any shares of him because he was going in a lot of my drafts. He was going like in the middle to late second.
Yeah, I'm not taking him at all in the second. There's too many players I like in this draft. And I like him in the late third. I really like him at like the 311, 312 if I can get him, especially in a dynasty format where you might get a starter eventually. Could be, but
I just had a draft start yesterday. Somebody in our league took him at 112, and
I've seen that.
Yeah, before Howard and before Milroe. However, after Dart and Shog and Ward, because it's to be fair, it's a 2 super flex league, but still I even feel like I want to take Milroe before him, even though Milroe isn't even going to start until next year.
I disagree on Milroe. Milroe really.
You think he's going to start after Russell?
I'm not a huge fan of Milroe.
I'm with Connor, and everyone loves Milroe, and
I like Milroe.
I don't feel it with this guy, man.
Yeah.
He shit the bed against Michigan. Couldn't get it done.
He's a career backup, in my opinion. He has some legs. I mean, he can move.
That's what they say more about Gabriel, right? It's a backup.
Yeah, I think the same thing with Gabriel too. I mean, I was never high on him. I'm very surprised the Browns took him and then took Shedeur. I think they should have took Shedeur and then Gabriel. That would have made more sense to me.
They did the opposite. It was weird.
They must have had something planned with him already.
And I'm not a huge fan of Shu, however you say his name.
Shog.
So yeah, I don't know. However you say his name, I'm not a huge fan of his player profile either. I mean, nobody really, had him ranked anywhere in the top 5 QBs of this draft class, but he has the perfect spot to start. So if you can get a starting QB
It's
in
better than
round 3,
Rattler, right?
yeah, exactly. If you can get a starting QB in round 3 of rookie drafts, you better eat that up all day. So
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
all right. Well, that's our rookie talk, and definitely look for Connor and JoJo's work on YouTube. Look for it on the ballsvillegame.com website. We're definitely going to be adding a lot of content in the next month. Now that training camp's going to be starting, so definitely look for that for their work. It's that they go in depth with everything. They do a great job. They're good young minds. So definitely look for their work. So thank you very much, Connor and JoJo. So now we're going to get into a little bit of information. So Derrick Henry signed a 2-year extension today. So if if you got Derrick Henry in Dynasty, I guess you just ride him till he dies at that point. And then we talked a little bit about George Pickens last week in the trade over to Dallas. So obviously that's going to affect George Pickens. It's not going to affect CeeDee Lamb, but it's going to affect DK Metcalf. So I think we have a board from our big game that's post George Pickens. So we're going to see if there was any movement with George Pickens and DK Metcalf. Can you guys see this board a little bit better than me?
yeah, I can see it.
Okay, whereabouts is Pickens?
Pickens is at the 802 to Pilger.
I see him. Okay. And did Metcalf?
Metcalf
Oh,
is over here.
Metcalf. That was Metcalf. That was talking about.
Metcalf's at 802. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Pickens is right before him at the 712.
Yep.
Okay.
Right there, almost back to back there.
So Sarah, are you still drafting George Pickens before DK Metcalf?
It depends on the draft. I'm kind of wavering between the two a lot because they seem to be falling to me very often right around the 6th, 7th, and 8th area. And I'm like, well, I got to grab one of them, I do like DK more. I've always liked DK more. I know he's been a big disappointment, but so is Pickens, and a lot having to do with their situations. But, it just depends. I feel like their situations might deem them equal, right? Pickens has a quarterback that if he's healthy, he's going to get thrown to and he's going to get some good looks. DK, he's a great player with an unknown quarterback that may or may not be good. So I think a lot of people like Pickens' situation more because he's got someone that can throw to him. So I'm not really surprised that he's going a little earlier, but they're going really close together quite often. I'm honestly surprised DK and Pickens didn't go just a tiny bit earlier. But
what about you, Connor?
I'm with Sarah. I think that's great what she said. I think they should go back to back because basically Metcalf is the better player, but in a worse situation. Pickens is I'm not sure if Pickens can get separation, but does he really need to get separation when you have Lamb out there? He's going to be Lamb. Pickens said that they don't have to double them both. Nobody's going to be doubling George Pickens. He can't get separation from a corner anyway, but they're going to be doubling CeeDee Lamb, which should single him up against a worse corner over there in Dallas. So we'll see. I think Metcalf should go a little bit earlier than Pickens. I just think he's a better talent, and he possibly could be playing with Aaron Rodgers. So, that's usually a good thing for receivers. So
it should be.
Yeah, I mean,
better than Mason Rudolph or whoever else they got back there.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. Well, that was very interesting. I kind of agree with y'all too that wow, you got what's going on here? Okay.
Sorry, there it is.
All right, there we go. So
usually Sean's job.
Yeah, I have my big fat face. My face was that one view. Welcome in Short Stack. I know he's probably pretty fired up for these triathlon drafts also. So welcome on in. So let's talk a little bit of trades. Everyone likes the trade talk, and I remember the trade talk name now because Sean's not on the show. If Sean was on the show, I would not remember. But I think do we have that stupid video that we're gonna play with the stupid?
Oh, we are definitely absolutely gonna play this most amazing epic video.
All right.
For trade talks. Wait, where did he do the video? Did he take it out? Alex, did you take out the video?
Did you check out the trade talk video?
It's not here.
Oh, you
Alex,
did?
what did you
Awesome.
do?
Thank you so much.
Oh, so all we're gonna do is say trade talk.
I wanna-
Trade Talk! Trade Talk! Ballsville is excellent!
Woo!
Oh.
I knew you wouldn't let us down there, Alex.
So bad. Oh my god. So
That
bad
is
it's
the best
good.
video ever. Stop it.
So bad it's good.
All right.
So we do
I
have
see it
some,
now.
We do have some trades to talk about. One
Yes.
we've been grilled at for 2 weeks now, saying that we didn't talk about his trade. So finally, we're going to talk about JoJo's trade. And he was involved with JM Hubs. And it looks like JoJo received Bryce Young, Malik Neighbors, and a 2025 first, 101
Man.
overall.
So Genty.
Which was Genty, yeah, of course. And he sent Baker Mayfield, the Sun God, Brees Hall, Tyrone Tracy, and a 2025 207, which is who goes in that range, Connor? 207.
I mean, could be best case scenario, Jack Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Maybe,
I'm going to go to Connor. And what do you like about this trade? Is it even? Is it one's better than the other? Do you think this is just a terrible trade? What do you think?
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's pretty, sort of even in the fact that he was able to get Mayfield, so an upgrade at quarterback. And then obviously I think it's just a diagonal move from Neighbors to St. Brown. He gets Hall, Tracy, which is kind of a backup now. And then I think I saw JoJo's comment where he moved the 207 and the 201 for Dak Prescott. So he basically out of this deal was able to make another deal and get him another starting quarterback. So I don't know who it's JM Hubs, right? Yeah. So I kind of like James Hubs' side of this deal just a little bit more, just from the fact that he had a little bit more, to work with after that. But, JoJo got younger. He was able to get Genty, who's going to be, in that Gibbs range. So a little bit, higher than what Hall's going now. Neighbors a little bit younger than St. Brown, although it's diagonal. And then Young, who, is quite a bit younger than Mayfield, could have had a great end of the year last year, could potentially, keep that up. So I like the little bit of a risk on JoJo's side, taking a little bit unknown assets and Young and Genty, but I think it's pretty even. I would lean with the 207, 207 in the movie made to get Dak like that.
So JM Hubs made the move to get Dak.
Yes, so he moved the 207 that he got from JoJo, and then apparently his 201 that he already had to get Dak. So,
okay. Sarah, what about you?
Yeah, I'm surprised he moved the 201. I've seen Scatabo go around that area, and I would assume that he would want to try and get him with Tracy. But I definitely like the side that gives me 3 really high-end players with Mayfield, St. Brown, and Brees. Doesn't mean I don't like the side with Neighbors and Genty, and I actually like Bryce Young and hope that he gets better and better since he was getting better last year. I just really. I have my own an unpopular dislike of taking a running back at 101 in general, even if it is an amazing, look, Brees was 101, and look what happened. You know what I mean? So it's you just never know. So I like trading the 101. I like J Hub's side there because he got some really nice pieces out of it. But I do think that it's pretty even.
I just want to clarify one thing. I don't think Tracy is the backup in New York just yet, but he is going to be a backup on most fantasy rosters, just to clarify. He's not going to be a starter.
Yeah, and that's why I'm if he's trying to get Scatabo somewhere, it makes sense, to go ahead and throw Tracy in the mix just to try and have that handcuff, but who knows?
Yeah, I think it's like a 1A, 1B. I don't think there's going to be a clear starter there. Scatabo is going to be your dirty back there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I look at this deal and I kind of look at it in a little bit different of a way. If I'm in JoJo's seat right now, and I'm assuming he's trying to get younger, maybe he's rebuilding, but I haven't seen a more polarizing player that everybody wants in a while at the 101. So by getting Neighbors, you're getting, Young, who ended the year good, in a good situation. He gets Tet in that offense with him. So I think his career is starting to ascend. But what JoJo can, instead of just go ahead and smashing Genty, which I'm pretty sure JoJo's going to do, imagine the haul he could get by dealing that 101. I mean, if he floated it out there, it'd be really interesting to see what kind of a return he could get for that.
I think
There's no way he's selling Genty.
I think he probably could get Mayfield, St. Brown, Hall, and Tracy.
The 207 maybe.
Probably. So I mean, obviously you'd want to take all them players back, for the 101. I mean, I would. But maybe he could get, would you trade what do you think you could snag for Genty? Like Bijan plus?
No, you're not. I think Genty is probably let me see. I think he's probably around a little bit and probably in between in my rankings, Neighbors and St. Brown. I think Neighbors is around 13. I think Genty's about 14 and St. Brown's about whatever I said after that. So I think Bijan and them are a little bit further, but I think Genty, if you can get Bijan straight up, you should do that. If you can get Gibbs straight up, you should do that. And then Genty is probably running back 3.
Got you.
Yeah, he's going third in most startups for sure. For running back, I mean.
So, yeah, I think I would still stay with JoJo's, but it's so slight. I mean, I like the return that JM Hub's got, especially that he got to move and get Dak. So, I do like that. But, the 101 is just, how rookie crazy people can get. And you could, maybe fleece someone in a big deal for that 101. So it would just be interesting to see what offers he would get if he floated that 101 out there. So, all right. Well,
all right, next.
Go, JoJo. It looks like I'm on your side, and Sarah and Connor might be on
Sorry about these.
It's close though.
Not going to see us. You don't need to see us.
Okay, this one is
Should be able to go
two
right.
Ballsville greats. We have Jay Morris 410, and we got my big brother Jimbo's Bimbos, and it looks like Jimbo sent over Sam Laporta, and he got in return Dalton Kincaid, Jalen Royals, and Tank Bigsby. I'll start off with Sarah.
So you've obviously Kincaid didn't do as much as everybody thought he was going to do. I think we have a lot of people that are hopeful he's going to do some more. I really like Bigsby. I didn't at first, and then when I saw what he could do and that they kind of liked him a little bit more than ETN. I know ETN was nursing some injuries. I do think Bigsby's going to keep a big role. So I really like him. I also think Royals, even though I'm not a fan of any KC wide receivers because Pat throws to so many people, I actually like Royals. So I'm going to take that side with Kincaid, Bigsby, and Royals because I think there's a lot of potential. And I'm going to say that the trade is not too shabby. I would probably, on the Laporta side, I probably would have maybe asked for maybe like a second or something with that, or maybe a third or something like that.
Got you. What about you, Connor?
I'm gonna have to disagree with Sarah on this one. I think it's Laporta, and it's not particularly close based on their value right now. He's probably tight end 3 right now. Maybe, I think he was tight end 3, maybe 4, possibly, and Kincaid's all the way down. Tight end 15, 16, 17 down there, getting drafted. So I'm taking Laporta and I'm running with it. If I'm Jay Morris, I really like this. Sorry, it's Jimbo's. I think you probably should have got picks instead of those Bigsby and Royals. I think you probably should have got a second or maybe even a first with Kincaid there. I like Laporta for this deal.
Connor, are you worried at all about losing Ben Johnson and acquiring Johnny Morton?
I'm not. I mean, I'm just talking about market value on Laporta. I'm not really like if you probably can go sell Laporta right now for a first or 2 firsts maybe. So regardless of what production is, I think the value of Laporta is good. But I'm not too worried about that offense at all. Laporta had a down year last year anyway. So
got you.
He
Yeah, I'm
did.
pretty much on the fence. I mean, I think they're like I said. I mean, how much worse can it get for Kincaid? I mean, come on, man. He's got a. I mean, the guy was a first-round draft pick, so I still think there's value there. You're tied to the best quarterback in football. I mean, I think things have to turn around. I think I'll just slightly take the pieces. I know Root and Tootin's there in Jacksonville, so Bigsby's going to be in a timeshare. We'll see if he keeps that RB2 job over
I'm not
Tootin.
too worried about Tootin.
And then Royals, he does go to a good offense. So can he slide into that number 3, WR role? We'll see. So I mean, I think there's going to be a slight uptick on Kincaid. I mean, I agree with Laporta. He did have a down year. He should be better. But getting the extra bonus pieces, especially, you're getting a receiver in Royals. I mean, he could do something in that offense. So, I mean, it's really close for me. I kind of agree with Connor, though. I'd rather just take a first rounder for Laporta. But if this is what all you could get and you really wanted to move him, I guess it's not a, like an awful deal or anything like that. I think it's, a little closer than I think Connor says it. So, so not too bad. All right. What's the next one?
That's in the next one. Alex, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, guys?
Here. Well, shoot. Let's have Alex talk about this next one because I'm in it.
All right. We got El Presidente must have hat hair today because he's got his hat on. You have hat hair today?
I have long hair.
That means a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, you can see my horseshoe.
Oh.
Nice.
I'm up there, guys.
Okay.
I'm on top of the hill right now.
Welcome in, El Presidente. So we are going through some trades. We got Dead Man Soul 31 and Sarah M21, our producer, who's right on the pod with us. And this looks like a 4 for 4. Looks like Dead Man got Coleman, Tutu, Jaden Blue, who is potential Dallas starter.
He does have Javante in that one.
Okay, and a 2026 1. And Sarah gets King, Jennings, Cooper Kupp, and a 2026 third. I'll go to Alex. Alex, do you need more time to digest this? Should I go to Connor or
go to me? Go to me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, let's go ahead, Connor. I'm pulling up the league right now so we can see the roster.
I don't know if this is good or bad.
I love it because I made almost the exact same trade in another league.
Really?
I made almost it.
For my side?
Yeah, for your side, Sarah. I sent a 26 first and Najee Harris and got Henry and Kupp. Nice. Basically very similar deals. You got rid of Coleman and got Jennings back. That's pretty mute. I like that. I like Jennings a little bit more. I really like this deal, especially because obviously you're probably competing.
And he's definitely rebuilding.
Yeah, I really like this deal a lot because I think, especially with the Henry little extension he got today, that's great. And then I see Kupp as a pretty good, if he stays healthy, still a tier 2 or wide receiver 2 player.
Yeah, I like him.
What about you, Alex?
I think Juwan Jennings is getting slept on this year, like especially in a redraft. He's going as like
really late.
A wide receiver 4 or 5. Somebody in your second flex position, but
especially because Ayuk might not even play for the first few games. So
exactly, yeah. So he's going to either be the 2 to Ayuk at some point, or the 1 to Parasol's 2. I don't think he's going to have to worry about Kittle because Kittle does his own thing. But I like the Jennings pickup. I think it's a great value there. I think people are high on Jaden Blue, and that's how this trade gets done. Granted, he got the first. Definitely a win now move for Sarah, and it's one I could see myself making as well. So I like that side.
Now, Sarah, you did this trade. When was this trade completed?
10 days ago.
10 days ago? Okay. Oh, I see it now. 10 days ago.
And this was an orphan I picked up for my Ballsville crew here this league. So I didn't draft this team at all, but
Oh, never mind. I hate this deal. This deal sucks. I'm
Are you
winning
in
this league. I'm winning this league. Pack your bag, Sarah.
So the reason why you guys watch the Ballsville podcast every week is because we have analysts on here that have the brains of Nostradamus. Because Sarah knew that King Henry was going to get this extension, and she also knew that the 49ers have the easiest 2025 schedule.
I just knew it.
So she was able to snag Juwan Jennings and Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp for a little throw-in. So this is a smash deal. Love it, Sarah. Go on and win a championship.
Thank you. And to be fair, I don't think Deadman got gypped at all because he's looking good with Blue and Javante. And he's really hopeful that Manning is going to be in next year's draft. So I really hope that Connor, that he actually does go into the draft because he's really hoping for Arch.
And Keon Coleman is also being a little underrated too. You know, that's a guy that has an open window to excel. So as long as he keeps developing it and outdoes what he did last season, I think he'll pick up that offense and be a contributor there. So it's definitely a future trade for Deadman and a win now move for you. So
yeah,
I have your roster here, Sarah.
Yeah, this trade only works out if Jaden Blue wins the starting job. I mean, he's got to win that. I mean, eventually take
he's a handcuff if not.
He's got to win that job. I mean, that's a pretty big. That would have to be a pretty big piece because Derrick Henry looks like he's not slowing down. I mean,
which is wild, yeah.
Which is crazy, but no, good work and on that deal, it's great,
right.
Great deal.
Let's see what's next.
All right. Oh, C-bomb and deep.
Connor.
Here we go. Oh, is this the same? Oh, is this the same league that I made the trade with him, Connor?
Oh, wow. What a trade. Wow.
So in this league, this is the league that I asked Connor about the question with Caleb Johnson. So D-Payne was a player that went for the punt in year one. So he acquired all the draft picks and he drafted
in this league. Yeah.
So he was looking to bring on future ones and get rid and move on from certain players. So he was willing to give a quarterback away, and I just didn't have enough draft capital to go get a quarterback. So Connor swooped in and picked up Michael Penix and Rome Odunze, and friend of the show. And D-Payne acquired Jaden Higgins, Luther Burton, Connor's 2026 first and his 2026 second. So I'll go to Sarah first. Sarah,
sure.
About this deal?
So we're all in this league. This is our Ballsville league. We had someone come fill a spot, but I was honored to win this league last year. Honestly, a little lucky, but if I'm rebuilding, I do like D-Payne's side, but Phoenix and Rome are young. They're almost rebuild pieces as they are. And we drafted in 2024, right? And we already played all last season and he punted last year. And I thought that was to, win this year, right? He had all these 25 picks. He has Phoenix, he has Rome, plus all the 2025 picks. So I'm actually surprised that he wanted to give up a quarterback and another young guy in a Odunze who, could very well, be stepping up big time this year. So I don't know, it's a real tough one for me. If I'm rebuilding, I love getting a 2026 first and second, but I got to take Connor's side on this because I think Phoenix is going to be really good. And I think Rome still got room to be really good. And I, like Scott, I got to take the side with a nice young quarterback.
Yeah, so I look at this and this is why when you do the punt strategy, it can't be a full punt. You can't just acquire all these picks, pick all these guys, and then the next year you got all these picks again and picking all these guys, and now look what happens. You got to start kicking the can down the road and start acquiring future picks and all you can get rid of now, because all you have
Youngsters.
guys is young guys.
Yeah.
So does he get a couple, pretty good or possibly future stud receivers in Burton and Higgins? Yeah, and he gets a couple picks. I've seen Connor's team; it should finish in the playoffs. But what I like about Connor's deal is he got, and like I always say, young quarterbacks. The easiest way to acquire them are in your startup draft, and they're so hard to trade for. And he was able to get a young quarterback. And even though Penix, I think, is 24, 25, he's still young for a quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
And Rome's still young.
Is he punting this year too? I'm just confused on why he got rid of Phoenix. Or does he have a ton of quarterbacks?
Well, he had like 4 quarterbacks. He's got like 5 running backs, and that's why I was able to get Caleb Johnson from him. So he's got my first round pick for next year. But the thing is, he's not trading away it's not like he's trading away like older players that are like winning.
Yeah.
Trading young talent that he drafted last year. So he's just kicking
he has 3 quarterbacks.
Are you looking at it too? Yeah, but look, Gabriel, Dart, Ward are his 3 backups, and Gabriel's probably going to be a backup forever. Dart's not going to start this year. Ward is basically his 3rd quarterback, and then he's got Bo Nix and Bryce Young. So I am still surprised to see him give up Penix with those quarterbacks.
I wouldn't be trading any young quarterbacks if you're a rebuilder or if you're like starting young and trying to grow your team. The last. I
like Connor's side because if you look at this retroactively, it's you're getting Penix for a first, the 203 or 204 wherever Higgins went, and a future second. So a 1-2-2 for a starting quarterback. Throwing the ball to London and maybe Pitts if he can emerge, and whatever Bijan gets to the air is coming from Penix. So definitely like your side, Connor.
Yeah, D Payne's going to get. He's going to be in the, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the Archie Manning, lottery next year. So he's probably like, I can just pick up a quarterback next year. So, which will probably, could be better than Penix, so I'm not saying I don't like.
For sure.
D-Payne's side. I like his side.
D-Payne has some really nice pieces for sure.
But how much longer are you going to keep kicking the can down the road before you start, if you're going to do a punt year 1, you better be like competing year 3. So
he already has 3 firsts. He, like you said, he has yours, he has Connor's, he has his own. He has 4 young quarterbacks, all arrows pointed up. He's got Janty, Henderson as his running backs with Trey Benson, Blake Corum. So he has pieces. None of these pieces scream win now. They're all kind of developmental, and he's putting himself in a position where he could take over the league in a couple years. And I just want to give a shout out to our structure because I think it's the Ballsville players that know that their dynasty leagues aren't going to fold and they can do this kind of thing.
That's right. So, long game, baby. Long game.
No, but these are also, Alex, these are also, what do we call them? They're when the league starts over, like if you win 2 championships and then the league starts.
They're Empire. Yeah.
What are they called again?
Empire. If someone wins more than once.
So these are Empire. So the only downfall for that then is if somebody stacks their team and they win 2 championships, everything just that's
very true.
Goes to waste.
That's very true.
It's not just winning your league. So you can win your league, and if you win it twice, like that's not unheard of. I've had people do that, but you also have to make the podium. So you have to be top 3 from all the leagues, and that right there is something that's the complicated
2
part.
times in a row.
Got you.
Okay.
Yes. So if you look on the website, we actually have in our Hall of Fame, we have last year's Dragons, and it's like P. Grote. I forget the other 2. Jerry's on there, but these are the top 3 in the Dragons. So if they make that podium again, their league resets. And in a situation like this, where D-Payne's doing this sort of method, and he never makes that move to compete, takes pieces away from a championship roster, he's allowing that roster to dominate the game 2 years in a row. If the league allows that, then that league will reset.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I wonder too, because he traded Rome with Burden, and I wonder if he thinks Burden is gonna somehow overthrow Rome.
Could be. They both have the same kind of open window
Mhm.
to step in and take that role, unless DJ Moore is going to be out and it's both of them.
Yeah, I mean he's got a contract, a nice one.
So just the so we'll roll into our, since we were talking about Dynasty, we'll go into like our game recaps like we do every game recaps like or updates like we do every week. So
There is one more trade if you wanted to.
Oh,
look
there's
at
one
that.
more trade. Okay.
There's one more. Yeah,
Okay,
one
go
last
ahead.
one.
I didn't know if we had.
Yes, this is
all right,
this wild ass one.
All right, so we have Jerry B 83. We also have
Podium.
White Knight 1988. Both a lot. I've seen them in a lot of our leagues. It looks like Jerry B acquires Russ Wilson, Jackson Dart, Quentin Johnson, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, so a couple Cyclones, 2026 second, and White Knight receives Dak Prescott and Joe Mixon. So we will start with Connor. I don't think we started with Connor yet. What do you think, Connor? This is in the Goku. See there? Thinking?
Oh, Connor, we might have you muted or something.
Oh, there you go.
Connor, did you hear that? No.
Can't hear you, but you're not. He's not muted though.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Very weird. Very weird.
All right, we'll go to Sarah. Sarah, you ready?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I was actually really interested in what Connor was going to say though. So, yeah, this is interesting. At first, I was like, "Oh man, I really like all those pieces," but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's almost even to me. Look, I know that Connor doesn't like Dart a whole lot. I do. I think Russell and Dart combo is pretty nice, and it's a good. It's like I think that Russell and Dart could be a good switch off for Dak. And then for Mixon, there is no quarterback on Jerry's side, so I'm assuming Jerry is good on. Running backs on Jerry's side, so I'm assuming he's good on running backs. That's why he was willing to trade Mixon for like a big haul here. Look, I know I'm a Chargers fan, okay, so I always hold out hope for all my guys. I don't think QJ's done for or anything. I do think he's probably going to get mostly replaced by Harris, but I think that they still like him, or they're going to trade him, and that's fine. And he might end up on a team where he does nothing or something. I really couldn't tell you for sure. But as long as he's on the Chargers, I think that I know Herbert likes him. So, not that he's going to be like a top dog or anything, but Noel, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I already, Higgins is already there. So we got 2 Houston rookies. I don't think Noel's better than Higgins. And I don't think he's going to get as much as Higgins. So I'm not even taking Noel in most of my drafts. But the second, so I'm looking at it as like Russell, Dart, Higgins, a second and a third, and QJ and Noel is kind of these question marks, and then Prescott and Mixon.
They're ancillary pieces, and I'm looking at Jerry's roster in this league, and his wide receivers are thin. He's got AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison, and then his wide receiver 3 is Ricky Pearsall. He did draft Tet, but he's starting
nice.
Tet and Trey Harris in the flex. So I think his philosophy was kind of coming to.
He's got Harris too. Okay. So he's got QJ and Harris, he's got Higgins and Noel, and then he's got Tet. So he's got two combos on the same team there.
And I think he's got he's kind of spreading his wealth here, it seems. I really don't like getting rid of Dak because he is starting Russell Wilson, it looks like, in his super flex spot. So I'd rather have Dak there if you're going to try to make a move. But Jerry's a vet, and he knows what he's doing. He's the guy we just mentioned that's on the podium for the Dragons. This is the Heroes. So one thing to talk about for these trades, these are all post-draft trades, and a couple things happen right after the rookie draft. You have what I call the Great Purge, right, where everybody just drops all the bench players, and then you have some of your more savvy, milk every little advantage type of players, and I wouldn't be opposed to move like this for White Knight, where he just kind of uses all these ancillary pieces and goes and try to get himself some powerhouse talent. I do something similar when I have time. Like I trade like a wide receiver 4 to move my third to a second next year, because I was either going to drop that player anyways, or try to get rid of them. So you see a lot of trades like this where it's somebody filling up somebody else's depth, and at the same time they're consolidating their wealth into a couple players like this. So smart moves.
I like both sides. I can't say who I like more, but I hate getting rid of future picks, especially seconds. I'll get rid of third and fourths, but with all of that other stuff that he's getting, I might lean a little more towards Jerry's side. But I really like both sides. I think it's a really nice trade.
What about you, Connor? I know you're going to Dak's side, aren't you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now we can hear you. Yay!
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to go to the Dak side because I think, Jerry gets basically the starter in New York right now, and Russell Wilson, and it gets Dart basically for Dak.
I think it rides on Dart.
Yeah, but, I mean, he gets the future regardless, and he gets the now. So I like that a little bit. And then for Mixon, he basically gets,
everything else.
Higgins, which I've seen Mixon get traded basically for the 203. Seen Higgins go at the 203. And then it's just a bunch of thirds and another 26 second, basically to make up any room that Dart and Wilson don't get for Dak. So I kind of like the Jerry side of this deal. Although White Knight gets immediate production from Prescott and Mixon, so I don't see anything wrong with the White Knight side either. I just prefer in Dynasty to go with Jerry's side there. Although I want to comment on a comment here. He said, I don't know how this trade is even allowed. I mean, obviously this is not anything to be worried about
so much worse
or anything. I think this is a pretty square deal on both sides. So, in Ballsville, we don't really care. Some people, a trade can, you might think you want to trade all year long, and then final year, he breaks an ankle, and then the trade's a different way. Unless it's collusion, unless it's clear collusion, then we just allow anything. This isn't, we're a bunch of grown adults. We don't need, people to watch us and say, "Oh, that's not allowed
totally.
here." So
totally, I'm glad you said something. We actually have a process in case if we see a trade, because not all bad trades are collusion, even if it's like a really bad trade. We had like a lot of Trey Lance trades that went down, and people just had hope, and now it looks terrible. So situations like that, if we thought it was suspicious, what we do is we go into like the history of the league, and we go and look at the trades between the two people, and we go and make sure everybody's trading with other players, because if they're trading with just a couple players, or if players are getting swapped back and forth between the rosters, that's one of the things that we flag. But yeah, I agree. A trade like this it's pretty harmless. It doesn't do a whole lot to shift the power. One guy's trying to consolidate his assets, and yeah, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a part of it.
I don't see anything wrong with. There's no like star player. There's no like Jamar Chase or Burrow, anybody getting flipped back and forth. It's a bunch of round 4 or later startup picks. There's like you said, there's unless it's collusion and clear collusion at that, it's going to go through in Ballsville, which there's been tons of way worse deals in Ballsville that we've had uproar rather than this. So
yeah, we're always watching. That's why we have these trades highlighted, and we let people know, if you're going to have trades, you can expect for them to be digested on the pod. And if we had something that really did create an uproar, the league would handle that and go through the voting process that we have outlined in our bylaws. So all this to say, we try to keep you guys protected. Like we mentioned, these leagues are going to be around. They're not going to fold, the podcast and everything, the website, it's all little extras and stuff. But, at the core of it, we just want to have a fair place for you guys to play the game.
Yep. Well, welcome in, Bear Force. I missed you. Bear Force 1.
Bear Force 1, he said, oh, that's why I was muted. I was saying Bear Force 1 rules.
Yeah. So welcome on in. Yeah, I don't, I look at this deal. Jerry, I see where Jerry's going with this. the problem I have is, these, these are all unproven commodities. I mean, Dart hasn't done anything. Noel, Higgins. I mean, they're all just prospects at this point. Quentin
What are you
Johnson.
talking about? Russell Wilson has more rings than Dak Prescott and Mitchell combined.
Russell Wilson has oatmeal pants now, so Dak Prescott.
I'm gonna have to make a soundbite for oatmeal pants.
So
Hashtag oatmeal pants.
and Quentin Johnson, he's like the poker analogy. He's been downgraded to third pair, so third pair on the board. So I like the proven commodities. I think Mixon has still a lot left in the tank. It looks like he really wants to play for this team. He likes his role. I could see a couple more years getting squeezed out of him. And, Dak's got Pickens now, and they don't have a running game. So it's going to be all Dak on first down, second down, third down. So as long as he stays healthy, Dak can put up some monster numbers. So,
yeah, he's done it before plenty of times.
I mean,
I think 2 years ago.
I just wish White Knight would have tried to hold back, like Sarah said, hold back maybe that second.
Yeah.
I hate just giving away picks. So Jerry did a good job by siphoning those picks. But if I was White Knight, I would have tried to suggest, hey, dude, why don't you try to at least hold back try to hold back both of them, and if you can't, definitely hold back the second.
Before we move on from looking at Joe Mixon, Connor, what's your take on Woody Marks? 7th round running back, right? Was he 7th or earlier than that?
He was late. He was late like that. I like Woody Marks. I like getting him in the 4th. I mean, I think that's the name that we're going to hit on. Me and JoJo are actually is Woody Marks. I like taking him in the 4th round of rookie drafts, but I don't think he's going to bite into Mixon's time at all.
The first 2 rounds of the rookie drafts, I mean, it's kind of like on repeat at this point, So what I'm more interested in is who your sleepers are. Like in the 4th round, we have like Ollie Gordon lingering there, Woody Marks, Tosh Brooks, right, from Cincinnati,
Yep.
Jordan James. These running backs, we knew it was going to be like a lot of running backs coming in, but drafting in a 32 team in a 16 team IDP league, like I see these guys going in the late 2nd round, and it's like, these are all experienced players like yourself, like us, all of us degenerates that are picking our favorite sleeper. And that's what I'm more interested in. And I think a lot of players are too,
Yeah,
who's your sleeper in the 4th round?
I like Woody Marks. I really like Hunter for the Rams. I think he has a chance there. Just looking at some of my other.
He was a 4th, right?
Hunter.
I think he was a 4th round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. 4th round. And then some other, Trevor Etienne, like to touch him a little bit.
Right.
And then Ferguson, another Ram, tight end. I think those are all sleepers that you can get 3rd or 4th round or later. So
what about you, Sarah, Scott? You guys have a favorite in the 4th round? One of those players, late sleepers?
If he falls to me, I really like Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. I've been picking him up too.
I'm getting him everywhere I can, anywhere in like the late 3rd or 4th.
I'm going to say,
Depending on
I'm
who's
going
left.
to say James. You got Christian McCaffrey there. He can't seem to stay healthy. They trade away Elijah Mitchell. They do have Isaac Arendo there. Is he a full-time back? I don't know.
Yes.
He had some.
That's a good one.
He had great production at Oregon. So James is somebody that I've been. I think in a couple. I think my early rookie drafts. I think I got him like the 5th round. Or undrafted.
Oh, love it.
Late 4th. He was like free. At that point. So he's a guy I'm trying to get on my rosters. You never know. It's a Shanahan running system. You never know.
So Jarquez Hunter he was one of those sleepers that was like getting picked up later on in like mid 4th, and he's kind of moved up to the late 3rd. And then Jaden Blue is a guy that's moved up rookie draft boards rapidly.
Yeah, he's up to the early 3rds now.
Yeah.
No, sooner than that.
I saw him
my
go
final
in the
draft.
leagues. It was crazy.
Yeah, my last draft, I traded back to the 212, and I had the 3-1, and I was sitting there just kind of rubbing my hands, and right before me, the last 2 people that I wanted was Jaden Blue and Kyle Williams, and they both went. And so I was a little broken hearted.
Kyle Williams, just to touch on, I think, the guy that shouldn't be going anywhere near the third round, and sometimes he's touching the third round. So he's a top 20 player. So
I got him in every one of my drafts. I got him in the 302 to 304 range.
He shouldn't be touching the third round.
Yeah, every one of my drafts. So, I mean, they're dying for a receiver there.
I got Jack Beck early in the third too in one of my leagues, so he shouldn't be touching that either. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
I just took him at like 2.7.
All right, well, we're cruising along here. We want to get to our we definitely want to get to our schedule release talk, but I just want to run through a couple things real quick. Our triathlon leagues, we're going to show you guys a short video. If you guys are new to triathlon, we have a short video that Sean put together, which people have watched last week and said, thank you for creating this video. It really helped me digest how the triathlon works, because I know it could get a little confusing. So before we show that, I just want to let everybody know that tomorrow, May 15th at 1 p.m., we will be drafting the Zeus League, the Light League. So we have light and dark. That's how we split the leagues up. So the Zeus Light and Osiris Light are both drafting tomorrow at 1 p.m. And then May 17th on Saturday at 1 p.m., we're drafting Amon Ra Dark, Zeus Dark, and Osiris Dark. So we got a big draft weekend for our triathlon. So let's run the clip.
Welcome to a quick breakdown of the triathlon game. The draft is going to consist of 24 teams who are randomly split into two 12-team leagues. Each 12-team league will draft individually. At the conclusion of the draft, each team will be awarded $200 in FOB to begin the league. The first set is the leg one is redraft. You're going to have both 12-team leagues are going to play in a standard redraft type format, weeks 1 through 8. It's going to be a standard matchup based against league median as well. The top 2 seeds are going to be awarded money at the end of leg 1 for winning leg 1. The 12 and final seed in each of the 2 leagues will be eliminated from the tournament altogether. So all players from the eliminated rosters are going to be added to the waiver wire at the conclusion of week 8 and start of the leg 2, the guillotine leg. As you can see, there's 2 separate rosters listed above me. Weeks 9 through 10 and 11 and 12 each have 2 separate types of rosters sizes. Waivers are going to still be a FOB system, which is going to roll over from your leg 1 budget. There's not going to be any matchups. It's going to be overall points only, and the lowest scoring team each week will be eliminated. So that's 2 teams from each week will be eliminated. All players from the rosters that are eliminated are going to be moved into the waiver wire weekly. So each of the remaining teams will be able to bid on those players, and there will be 2 sets of waivers running, one on Wednesday at noon and one on Thursday at noon. At the conclusion of week 12, there's going to be one final round of waivers going into Wednesday at noon. Following that, they will be locked for the best ball bracket. The best ball bracket is 8 teams from each of the 2 leagues. The remaining 8 teams will be combined into a 1 bracket, 16-team bracket. Their seeding will be based on how they completed their leg 1 standings. As you play through, each of the teams that lose will be eliminated down to the Final 4. The Final 4 will be paid money, as well as the 2 champions who may face off in the championship for the bracket. The winner of the bracket champion will be moved into the Grand Champion Week 17. All bracket champions are going to compete for the Grand Champion crown. I hope that really helps you guys with any questions you may have. Please feel free to reach out to us at theballsvillegame.com if you have any more questions, or feel free to jump into one of the leagues. Myself, Scott, and Alex will be available for you guys at any time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you there.
All right. That was brought to you by Trader Clem. He does a great job on our videos there. We just got to break his habit of going from FOB to FAB, and we'll be all set at that point. So any of you that are not in the triathlon leagues yet, we have Aries and we have Mars that are both about half full. We need some more players to get those full. So if you're interested in getting into another league, you can go on the ballsvillegame.com to get in those leagues. If you have friends that are interested, show them this video and get them in those leagues, and we can get these filled up. And then we'll do
totally.
our drawing. We'll do our drawing for draft positions live on the pod like we did with the other ones. So we get the old Shauna wheel and we spin it around, and you'll know who your league mates are. So definitely get into those. And we'll have updates next week on how some of these drafts are playing out since they're launching in tomorrow and Saturday. So
Yeah,
all right,
lots of fun.
yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. You guys are going to love this format.
So fun.
It's going to be so fun. Okay. I know we're running up against it. We got to get to this schedule release. And so we're going to get right to it. I wrote down some quick statistics. So basically the top 5 teams that have the hardest schedule. We got the Giants. We have the Bears, the Lions, the Eagles, the Packers, and Cowboys. So those are your hardest schedules that are rolling out. Obviously, you see like the Cowboys, you see the Giants and Eagles in there, and that's because of the NFC East. They're all playing against each other, beating each other up. The easiest schedules, and this was pretty surprising. Maybe it was just because, they just had a bad year, but the Niners, easiest schedule. So, Juwan, get your Juwan Jennings.
Cool.
You got the Saints, the Pats, the Titans, and then you have a tie between Carolina and Arizona. So those are your easiest schedules.
Well,
go ahead.
But what constitutes easy and hard? I wonder, like, if you have like a game where it's Bengals versus Chiefs, I mean, that's going to be a shootout. So that could constitute a hard game for them, but it could be a fantasy glory for us if we have them.
Yeah. So these statistics were based on overall record of opponent winning percentage last year. So things can change. This is just
like if I've got Christian McCaffrey and the Niners have an easy schedule and we're expecting to hold the lead, throughout a lot of these games, and that could benefit, San Francisco running back.
Correct. So, so just something to think about. Like I said, these will all just like drafting team defenses. The number one defense, something usually doesn't always equate to the number one defense at the end of the year. Things always seem to change and stuff like that. So, and then this was interesting. I put this together the last 10 minutes before the show because I thought this would be really important. And that's why we waited to draft our triathlon leagues after the schedule comes out. So I have all the bye weeks written down. And, what I'll do is I'll just put it up to the screen here and you guys could watch later and watch later. And write them all down so you don't
Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, Pittsburgh.
Let's see. So you don't have to do the homework.
Houston, Minnesota, Baltimore, Buffalo, Arizona,
Detroit,
Jacksonville,
Las Vegas, the Rams, Seattle. Week
8, 9, and 10 are crazy.
Yeah. So you guys can catch that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in week 8. That's wild.
So basically what it comes down to is week 13, there's no bye. And then in our triathlon, weeks 1 through 8 is the redraft. Guillotine starts week 9. So like Alex said earlier, week 8 is, what did you call that, Alex? What is that? Week 8 with all the teams on the bye?
Bipocalypse.
That's your bipocalypse is week 8. But also
that's from something.
You got 4 on week 9, 4 on week 10. Which are the guillotine, the first 2 guillotine weeks. So it's going to be really important when you draft your team because it might come down to if you're between 2 players at the same position, you might want to take the guy that has a later bye. Because in the guillotine section, you have a bad week, you're finished. So and we have some important teams on these buys. Like week 10, you got Cincinnati, Dallas, KC. You got the 3 quarterbacks right there on the bye. Week 9, Philly, Tampa, Cleveland and the Jets. But even week 8, that last redraft, you got Arizona, Detroit, Jacksonville, Vegas, the Rams, and Seattle. So that's murderer's row right there.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be brutal.
Mhm.
it's going to be brutal. So that's why I was adamant about waiting till the schedule came out before we start drafting these teams, because you could really, I mean, you could pretty much lose your season if you didn't draft right because of the bye weeks. So
I have a question
Yeah,
for
go
you,
ahead, Sarah.
Scott. Last year, Sean and I believe Connor did the chopping block together, which you guys talked about guillotine leagues in that one, right?
Yes.
Yes. Are you guys going to do that again this year?
I think what we
'Cause I would think that was really helpful.
doing is I think Connor, what did Sean say? You guys are going to do the 3 guillotine leagues from last year?
So yeah, so you're talking about the podcast, correct, Sarah?
Yeah, the pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think me and Sean are going to do that again. We're going to do the same Monday thing.
Yeah.
We haven't got specifics yet. So we're going to do the triathlon leads. It'll be more covered towards those leads.
Good.
And then we'll have our 3 guillotines that we did last year. We'll keep doing those, same way we did last year, just for some extra, just for guillotine leads. And then we have one more lead that we haven't announced yet, that we're working on. Maybe we'll throw it like we try, kind of like what we did with the triathlon lead last year, where we had just a set group. We'll probably try to do that again this year with a game that we're working on. That should be pretty fun. We'll do the podcast and we'll cover who's dropped and all that stuff on there. So same thing that we
so
did last year.
Ballsville crew, if you're in the triathlon, y'all got to watch the chopping block.
Yeah,
actually, me and
Really
Sean just talked about that the other day.
Yep.
A little bit. So if we're going to do it or not.
Yeah, so you guys that are in these triathlon leagues, besides tuning into our weekly Wednesday pod, definitely tune into those chopping block YouTube videos, because they're going to be going over these triathlon leagues. So you're going to be mentioned, standings, players dropped. There's always suggestions on
who you should pick up.
If you've never played guillotine before, those old episodes are still on our YouTube. That we cover rules, we cover bylaws and all that stuff of just guillotine leads, that you can go check out anytime as well. And they're all on there every week. Is on there how people got cut, scores and all that. So
the biggest question is, people want to know like what they should bid on these stars when guillotine comes around, and it's very telling, because like if you do have a player that's on bye, a quarterback or something, and you need that quarterback, now you're in desperation mode. But what other rosters are in desperation mode? What are they going to pick? If you go all out and you win that week, now you're kind of stripped for the next week. So there's the good part about guillotine is there's huge strategy involved. And for our triathlon, if you dominate and redraft, you do win a $30 prize going into the guillotine week. So you can dominate and redraft and still get outed, but you'll walk away with your $30 prize at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. But you said that people want to know how to bid on players. It depends on every league. Like, you can go watch our guillotine pods. We did 3 different leagues, and there's like basically the same players in the pool, and there's totally different numbers on each one of them. So it's always going to vary by league in guillotine. You never know. You just got to play it, what you kind of think. I would say stick to a budget. That's the best rule that you can follow.
And pay attention to the bye weeks.
Yeah, pay attention to the bye weeks.
Spend a lot.
Yep. And I can almost guarantee, because it happened to me, that you're going to be in all kinds of different leagues, best ball, redraft, dynasty, this and that. I guarantee you'll be following these triathlon leagues more than any other league that you're with, because you have to be on top of it every single week with these triathlon leagues, especially when you get to the guillotine part of it, managing your fab, seeing who's picked up, looking at other people's rosters, trying to figure out who they're going to bid on, going and looking at previous bids, that if they missed on a player, what did they bid on them? Are they going to bid the same the next week? You could be you could have an abundance amount of fab, and you may want to trade fab to somebody to acquire a player. So there's all kinds of twists and turns, and that's what is going to make this game super fun. So we're super excited to launch this.
The triathlon is exciting to us because it was a conception. It was something that Scott and Sean thought of, and then we kind of like when they told me about it, I kind of went, "Whoa, this has like so much potential." And then for us at Ballsville, if you're in the mini leagues, our whole philosophy there, because that game ends after week 15, because we want to give you time to focus on your fantasy football playoffs, and give your team's attention when it matters the most, especially if you're in our leagues with no trade deadline until you clinch playoffs. So for the triathlon, you're going to play weeks 1 through 8 for redraft. And then that's usually around the time, if you're in a redraft league and you have a team not doing well, they kind of check out, right? And then what happens, somebody gets free wins, and then their road to the playoffs is much easier than yours. So we're mitigating that by switching over to the guillotine portion of that. Those teams that checked out, doesn't really matter. They're going to get eliminated, and you're going to keep that competition level up. And then when we start week 13, there's going to be another bonus for the guillotine portion, the number one team points. So another $30 bonus. And you go into the bracket, you're going to have a gauntlet of a week 13 where everybody faces each other between the two leagues that represent a god. And then as you get deeper into that bracket, you start winning bigger and bigger prizes. And then in the end, we're going to have 12 gods that, champions from each god. And then they're going to face off for week 17. And that's where the big, huge payout bonus is. And we've introduced a method where they can wager against each other and kind of, build that pot up. So there's going to be fun all along the way. And if you don't succeed in the triathlon, it's going to end early for you. And then you can focus on your other games and other leagues and stuff. So that's the philosophy behind it.
Yep. And I missed some players in the chat. We got Jenny B, welcome in. We also have Luke McAllister, welcome in, Luke. And then Jen Conrad. She's a newbie.
That's my wife.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
She's coming in to say hi.
Oh, awesome.
She was mad.
Here.
She was mad we didn't say her name. She said, "Oh, okay, bye."
Oh,
No.
we'll meet you in Vegas, Jen. We'll meet you in Vegas.
That's
Nice,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's go over some of these. I want to get your guys' take, because I have a little rant about these international games. I think they're disgusting. I think that Roger Goodell says he wants to expand the league and bring in more fans from other parts of the world. And so basically what you do is you cater to these people over here that hate us Americans, and you basically take the people on the West Coast and tell them, screw you, you don't need to watch these games because they're on so damn early in the morning. So we're just gonna like push you guys off to the side and give these games to these people over here. So I don't like these games. There's a reason why you get booed when you come out onto the stage during the draft, because people don't like you. They don't like the direction you're, going with the NFL. I mean, I don't like you groping the players when they're coming out onto the stage. A firm handshake would be nice. You don't have to like grope them and pick them up, and it looks pretty like perverted. So that's my whole take on these international games. I could do without them. So I kind of want to go see what you guys think about these international games. Obviously I know Alex and Sarah probably don't watch them, and I don't know if Connor does at all, but
Catch the second half.
and then this guy's even talking about potentially having a Super Bowl, out in Europe somewhere, which would be flat out awful. This is our
Wait, like separate from our Super Bowl, or like the Super Bowl?
About having a host city be a
no,
the Super Bowl.
Like the Olympics.
Yeah. So, I want your guys' take on this. I know everything happens, but I want your guys' take on this. You guys can't like this for fantasy. We always go back to the Alvin Kamara week, which destroyed a lot of fantasy seasons. So, do you guys don't like the direction with these international games? Do you guys care? Especially you guys on the West Coast, it's got to suck for you guys.
It totally does.
It does. It really sucks. I also don't mind waking up to football. It's not the worst thing in the world. But then again, on the West Coast, we do start at 10 a.m. rather than, 1 like you guys. But, it is kind of cool to wake up and be like, oh, football's already on. Sweet, or whatever.
You gotta wake up at like 4 a.m, don't you?
Like I said, we'll watch the second half.
Jesus.
I usually wake up around 6, but
I wake up that early.
yeah, you do. You wake up at like 4, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
thick.
I don't, it hasn't affected me that badly fantasy wise. I'm not like to the point where it's like bothering me at all.
You don't
by
think
any
it's
means.
perverted?
So and
He is
see anything wrong with a little, nice little hug or a love tap, but
I don't know. It's. I would just stick my hand out for a handshake. I don't need the grown man
sweet
picking me up
whispering sweet nothings into their ears.
Yeah,
It's all good.
grabbing me.
It's all fist bumps after COVID.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about the holiday games? Like, do you like the Christmas games? I actually like the Christmas games. I don't mind.
I'm glad it's on a Thursday this week, man. Last year it was on Wednesday, and it put us in a scramble because it was our championship week, and we had to get all that stuff done between the end of Monday. We had Tuesday basically.
On the business side of things, not great.
Not great for us, but it's on a Thursday this year. First thing I did was go check when's Christmas.
When's Christmas?
Yeah.
So what matchup are you guys? I'll go with Sarah. What matchup are you looking most forward to watch? Like
Holiday wise or in general?
Just like, I mean, like it's probably like I haven't totally looked through the whole schedule.
I haven't looked at all the holiday schedules.
You're probably looking at your Chargers, and you're probably like,
oh yeah,
that's a like.
Oh, I've got it up right here.
That's a conference game I want to watch or something else.
I love our division games because we actually have I'm a Raider hater, so like I love watching us beat the Raiders on a regular basis, but like to be honest with you, it looks like we're playing the Giants and the Dolphins, which if I recall, I don't recall us playing the Giants very often, so that's kind of cool. But honestly, I just really, really want to finally beat the Chiefs because no matter how good our team is and no matter how poorly the Chiefs might be playing, they always freaking beat us. And I'm just sick of it. So I'm always dreading and excited to see that game. Well, both of the games that happen every year.
What about you, Connor? How about them Cowboys?
I want to see Eagles Chiefs week 2.
Eagles Chiefs week 2. Yep. I think a lot of people want to see that one. Before I go to Alex, I want to see the Sunday night game. I want to see Baltimore and Buffalo. I think that's going to be a tremendous matchup. Those fans in Buffalo, I've been to a game.
That was my answer.
Those people are flat out crazies in Buffalo. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, man. See Lamar versus Josh Allen again. That's always a good time.
Sorry to steer your thunder, but
it's a good time because anybody versus KC could be a good time. But like I mean, aren't we all sick of Mahomes by now? Like if you're not a KC fan, it's like stop it. We all love that Super Bowl. Go Eagles now. Which, by the way, shout out to last year where they sent the Eagles to Brazil and told them not to wear green, right? So
Did you hear what SportsCenter was saying earlier today? They were like, they say the Cowboys is America's team, but the Chiefs is the world's team.
Oh, geez.
Makes me sick.
Geez. But so like I said, I don't mind the holiday games, especially on Thanksgiving. Lions always play on Thanksgiving, which is nice. Cowboys, and then they always throw a random third game in, which I thought was a great idea. So like those, I'd like to see more flex games this year. I think they wait too long in the season to put flex games in. I like better matchups.
I think we need a Hanukkah. I think we need a Hanukkah series, 9 nights of football.
Oh wow!
It's 8 nights.
Jeez.
8 nights.
We can do it as I light my menorah. No, seriously, let's do it.
Well, I mean, if I had one wish, it would just be to get some kind of, synchronicity to this, bye week disaster that they got going. It's bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Sean had a pretty good idea of having like 2 weeks where like there'd be 2 bye weeks, and like I don't know, he said something like half the teams be on the bye, one and the half on the other, or something like that. But
why don't we do 8 weeks and each division takes a week off. You know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, these bye weeks are just and I don't understand the week. You take week 13 off, and then you go to week 14. I mean, why did you take week 13 off? I don't understand. Was there
very interesting.
or what's going on?
Something must be happening that week.
So, and then you got some
Yeah,
weeks,
right.
some weeks where only 2 teams are on the bye. So I don't know. I don't know what these schedule makers are doing. I don't know if they just stick out all the teams in a computer and push a button and it spits them all out. But yeah, it's definitely not. Definitely doesn't help us gamers with this. So, anyways, any last words to the panel before we head on out?
Oh yeah, I want to
Go
say
ahead.
I'm looking forward to Connor and JoJo's new production. Like that's something
Yeah, rookie
that's
talk.
pretty enticing.
Yes.
I'd really like
you
to
know,
make you a little song and video for your opening too.
Yeah,
A little,
definitely
like,
look for the
30-second
welcome
thing.
to.
talk.
Yeah.
Rookie talk for sure. That's I know people are still probably
Oh.
drafts.
I do have something else to kind of like mini announce, I guess. One of the things that we're going to introduce this year is we're going to have a couple of avenues on the front page of the Ballsville website where you can go and keep up to date with, some of the documents that Connor and JoJo put together. You know, whether it's like another handbook update or some of JoJo's DFS content. It'll be something that's readily available for you guys, and we're going to dress it up, make it look nice and pretty for you.
Yeah, and just an update on the handbook. So week 2 of our series will be us. I think we're going to live. I think it's week 2. It might be after that. Might be week 3. We're going to live update the handbook as it's going to be a handbook that we work together. It's just going to be pure rookies, and then we'll release that after the episodes type thing.
Sick.
And it's going to be just our thing. So
Super cool.
Cool.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, that wraps it up here for the Ballsville podcast. I know when we log off here, everyone's going to run to the computer and look at their team's schedule. Those of you who are drafting in the triathlon leagues tomorrow and Saturday, go ahead and study your buys. It's super important. And so for my fill-in co-hosts and producer, Sarah M21, for our 2024 Ballsville Player of the Year, Connor, and for El Presidente, Wes Lex, I am Run the Hurry Up on Sleeper. Until next week, folks, we are out.
That's a wrap.